What's going on, guys? Matt Kelly here, and today I've got a bit of an interesting video. See, many of you know from my past videos, from my TikToks, from all the content I've produced over the last couple of years, that a big thing for me in boats is power supplies, electricity. I love running gadgets, whether it's simple things like phone speakers, but I've also got, nav lights, internal lights, floodlights, underwater lights. I've historically have run a double battery setup in the back of the boat, like lead acid, just to give me a bit of redundancy and a bit of backup. But that's always made me a bit nervous that what happens if I've got to switch to both and it runs out and you're stuck, right? So there's one thought there that I've been playing around with. The other thought was, what if I could remove a lot of those extra devices off that battery bank altogether? Does that reduce our dependency on those batteries? So through all of my research, I got talking to the guys at EcoFlow, and through that conversation, they agreed to send me out a brand new River and a 110 watt solar panel. This is the River. It's a pretty cool little station. I've been playing around with it and I'm just testing it out, and I wanted to show you guys what it is, how it works, what the features are like, and yeah, just go over how I think this might actually help me with redundancy in the boat. Pretty cool. So as a starting point, the River has 288 watt hours of capacity, which means it'll charge your smartphone 21 times on a charge. Now that's good for me because I can run multiple devices out of this simultaneously. While I will never need to charge my phone 21 times on its own, I think about between GoPros and cameras and lights and all the other stuff that I like to run, you've got USB-C out, you've got a light on the front of it, you've got USB-A, a fast charge USB, you've got DC out, and you've got two AC outlets on the side. Now the cool thing about the AC outlets is they're 600 watts, just straight as they are. However, if you download the EcoFlow app, sync it up with the device, you can actually use what they call X-Boost technology, and that can pump this up to 1800 watts. Now that's obviously going to rinse your battery pretty quick, but it's a cool feature to be able to have if you want to use something that requires a lot of power for a short period of time. It just makes it handy. So the other thing that was important to me is that charging it wasn't going to be a massive pain. I didn't want to have to go home all the time, plug it into a power point and just leave it there for sitting for hours and hours and hours. The cool thing is if you do plug it into your home power point, it'll charge from 0 to 80 in under an hour, which means 0 to 100 in under an hour and a half, which is a pretty short amount of time when you think about it. If you plug it into your car, which it does come with the car 12 volt plug straight into the cigarette lighter port in your car, that's under 2.5 hours to go from 0 to 100. And what I'm probably most excited about is the fact that I can plug it directly into an EcoFlow solar panel. They run multiple solar panels that you can run at the same time. They've got high capacity solar panels. I've got the 110, and frankly, knowing that I can just chuck that on the roof of the boat and let it sit there while I'm out fishing or doing whatever, means I can just get this thing to max capacity pretty much all the time, and it's always there when you need it. What it means is I've got two lead acid batteries in the boat. I've got a separate solar panel that I can run them off, so I can always make sure there's charge there. And then for redundancy, I've got this as a totally separate setup, which is cool. And talking about redundancy, the other thing that I've been thinking a lot about is I can actually run a 12 volt battery charger off this. So if for some reason my batteries died in the boat, the solar panel I didn't have with me for the boat, my typical 200 watt solar panel for the boat, I could actually run off this 12 volt battery charger and then alligator clip that directly onto the batteries in the boat, charge both batteries simultaneously, get enough charge in it that the engine starts, the alternator runs, you're charging again. And that to me, it's redundancy that makes this cool. The other cool thing about it is when you're stopped at anchor, the battery's running and the engine's off, think about it, typically you'd switch off the sounder, you'd get the electronics not taking too much load off the batteries. For me, that's when this comes into its own. You can have power your speakers off it, so you can have your UE boom, a couple of them, all plugged into this so that you're not even depleting the battery on them. You can run it for days. The screen here means that at any given time, you can see how much load is coming off the battery. So you can plug new devices into it at any time and see how much runtime you have with those all plugged in running simultaneously. So if you plug something in and you see that drops substantially and you decide, actually, I'd rather have battery life and not have that absorb so much power, you can just rip it off, which is pretty cool. If you're doing research into power systems like this, make sure you do add EcoFlow to the list. They've got some pretty cool models for various capacities. It's worth checking out. Thanks so much, guys, and I'll see you later.